There's something so quietly powerful about the way a woman's eyes soften when she hears words that actually reach her soul. Not the tired clichés, not the recycled nicknames that any man can say without thinking, but the kind of words that feel like a warm embrace she didn't even know she was craving. Maybe you've called her baby 100 times. Maybe you've whispered honey because you thought it sounded sweet. But deep inside, you sense it. Those words have become empty echoes. They don't spark the fire in her heart anymore. They don't make her feel special. If you've ever watched her look away when you called her baby, if you've ever felt her drift just an inch further each time you said honey, I need you to understand this. It's not that she's become cold. It's not that she's impossible to please. She's simply yearning for something real. Something that sounds like you actually see her. You actually know her. You actually choose her every single day. Tonight, I want to pull you into a new way of speaking. A way of claiming her heart without a single overused pet name. 3 words. 3 simple words that, when you say them with sincerity, can melt her defenses and remind her that she is not just any woman to you. She is the woman. So let's begin. I appreciate you. There is a rare kind of power in looking into a woman's eyes and saying, with no hesitation and no agenda, I appreciate you. It sounds simple, almost too simple. But the truth is, these words carry a weight that pet names never will. They are different from baby, different from honey, because they go deeper than affection alone. They communicate something women silently long for, but often don't know how to ask for recognition. It is the acknowledgement that she is more than the sum of her looks, more than a pretty smile or a warm body beside you. She is a person, unique and irreplaceable, and you see her. You see the little things she does when no one is watching. You see the way she tries to be strong on days when her spirit feels fragile. You see how she pushes herself to show up, to care, to keep the connection alive even when life gets heavy. When you say, I appreciate you, you're telling her she's not invisible. You are telling her that her effort matters. In a world that often reduces women to what they can offer or how they look, this sentence is a revolution. Maybe you think she already knows you appreciate her because you stay, because you do your part, because you tell her you love her. But love and appreciation, while connected, are not the same. Love can sometimes feel assumed or routine. Appreciation has to be voiced or it withers in silence. When a woman doesn't hear that she is appreciated, she starts to feel like she is failing in invisible ways. She wonders if her care is expected, if her loyalty is taken for granted, if her softness is wasted. But the moment you say those 3 words, I appreciate you, the doubt melts away. Think back to the last time you actually paused to see her beyond the everyday labels. Maybe she woke up early to make your day easier. Maybe she called to check on you when you sounded tired. Maybe she picked up a small detail you didn't even realize you needed. Those moments are where I appreciate you becomes real. When you notice those things and speak them out loud, she feels safe to keep giving. She feels motivated to keep showing up for you because she knows you are not blind to her efforts. A woman's heart is a delicate balance between wanting to be loved and wanting to be recognized. Without recognition, love starts to feel hollow. You don't have to wait for grand gestures or milestones to express appreciation. In fact, the most powerful moments happen in the simplest parts of your life together. Imagine this. She's folding your laundry. You walk up behind her, touch her shoulder gently, and say, I appreciate you for everything you do, even this. Or picture her sitting across from you, telling you about her worries. Instead of rushing to fix them, you look her in the eye and say, I appreciate how much you care. I see how hard you try. It's in those quiet spaces that a woman feels truly cherished. She will remember those words long after she forgets what gifts you bought or how often you called her baby. It's tempting to think appreciation is obvious if you are providing for her, protecting her, or staying loyal. But for a woman, feeling secure is about more than material support or physical closeness. She wants to know you value her heart, that you are aware she doesn't have to give you her tenderness or her patience. She chooses to. And when you tell her you appreciate that choice, you turn your relationship into a sanctuary. You make it a place where she can breathe without fear that her goodness will be overlooked. Some men worry that being openly appreciative makes them look weak or too sentimental. But here is the truth most people won't say out loud. A man who has the strength to express gratitude is a man who inspires devotion. When you show a woman you can be humble enough to honor her contributions, she sees you as a partner, not just a lover. She sees you as someone she can trust with her vulnerabilities. That trust becomes a bond stronger than any superficial attraction. You might be wondering, how often should I say it? The answer is, as often as you mean it, not as a script, not as a tactic, but as a genuine reflection of your awareness. Appreciation is not a tool to manipulate her emotions. It is an offering of truth. And the more you practice giving it sincerely, the more she will open herself to you in return. Maybe you have never told her these words because you assumed she didn't need them. Or maybe you thought she would already know. But most women are carrying invisible burdens, self-doubt, worry, the fear that they are never quite enough. I appreciate you is the antidote to those silent struggles. It is the reassurance that no matter how messy life becomes, you see her goodness shining through. There is something almost disarming about hearing appreciation from the man you love. It softens the sharp edges of her day. It reminds her that all the things she gives, her time, her energy, her affection, are not expected but treasured. And when she feels treasured, she will return that feeling in ways you can't imagine. She will become more affectionate, more trusting, more willing to share her deepest self with you. So tonight, or tomorrow, or the next time you look into her eyes, don't let the moment slip away behind tired nicknames. Don't assume she's heard it all before. Instead, pause and let yourself see her as she really is, a woman who wakes up every day trying to be her best for you. Let yourself feel the gratitude that maybe you've kept buried under pride or distraction, and then say it out loud. Not as a habit, but as a revelation. I appreciate you. Watch how her eyes change. Watch how her posture softens. Watch how her heart lifts just a little bit higher. Because you will have done something most men never do. You will have told her the truth in a way that heals, strengthens, and uplifts. Those 3 words may seem small, but in the space between her longing to be seen and your willingness to see her, they become everything. A tufa, I hear you. There are moments in every relationship when words seem to bounce off walls, when misunderstandings pile up until silence feels safer than trying again. Maybe you've seen it in her eyes, that flicker of disappointment when she shares something close to her heart, and you brush it aside without realizing. Maybe you've watched her grow quieter over time, her voice shrinking because she has started to believe you don't really listen. That is why these 3 words, I hear you, can become the most powerful bridge you ever build between you. When a woman feels unheard, she feels alone even when she's standing right beside you. She starts to believe her thoughts don't matter, that her feelings are too much, that her needs are inconvenient, and no amount of calling her baby or honey will fill the hollow space left by that loneliness. But when you say I hear you, you are not just listening for the sake of replying. You are telling her she is safe to express herself without fear of judgment or dismissal. You are telling her that her voice carries weight with you, that her experiences matter enough to be felt and understood. There is a tenderness in listening that most people underestimate. It's more than nodding or repeating back what she said. It's the willingness to put your ego aside and step into her perspective for a moment. It's the courage to be fully present, even if you don't have a solution. When you tell her I hear you, you are offering her something priceless, validation. And validation doesn't mean you always agree with her. It simply means you respect her right to feel what she feels. Imagine she comes to you after a long day, her face tired and her spirit worn thin. She tries to explain why she's upset, but halfway through, she stops, her eyes searching yours for any sign that you understand. In that pause, everything hangs in the balance. If you shrug, change the subject, or tell her she's overreacting, a small part of her will shut down. But if you look into her eyes and say, I hear you, you are unlocking a door she has kept closed. You are telling her she doesn't have to fight for your attention. She doesn't have to prove her feelings are valid. She can simply be herself, and that is enough. Listening is an act of love that requires presence. It means putting down your phone, pausing your own thoughts, and giving her the space to be fully seen. It means noticing the tremble in her voice, the way her hands twist in her lap, the moments when she hesitates because she's scared you won't care. When you say, I hear you, you are promising her she is not alone in her experience. You are standing beside her, willing to carry some of the weight she has been holding by herself. So many men underestimate the healing that happens when a woman feels heard. They believe they need to fix everything, to rush in with solutions or logic. But sometimes the greatest comfort is knowing someone is willing to simply sit with you in your feelings. When you say, I hear you, you are not solving her problems. You are affirming her humanity. You are telling her she is worthy of empathy, that her heart is worth understanding, that her voice matters in your world. Over time, these words can transform the way she trusts you. If she knows you will truly listen, she will bring more of herself to the relationship. She will feel safe to share not only her frustrations, but also her dreams, her hopes, her hidden fears. She will stop holding back parts of herself to avoid being misunderstood. And as she opens up, your connection will deepen in ways you never thought possible. Maybe you have struggled to find the right words in the past. Maybe you were raised to believe that feelings are messy or irrelevant. But I want you to know this. Listening is not weakness, it is strength. It is the choice to set aside your own need to be right or comfortable so you can create space for her truth. When you say, I hear you, you are proving that love is more than attraction. It is respect, curiosity, and compassion. Picture her in those quiet moments when she doubts herself, when the world has been unkind, when she feels like she has to carry everything alone. Imagine what it would mean for her to hear you say, I hear you. I may not have all the answers, but I am here to understand. Those words are like a balm to a tired soul. They remind her that her feelings are not a burden, that her experiences are worthy of your attention. Sometimes she will test you without realizing it. She will share something vulnerable to see how you respond. Will you dismiss her? Will you get defensive? Or will you look her in the eye, soften your voice, and say, I hear you? In that moment, you are teaching her whether she can trust you with her heart. You are teaching her whether her emotions are safe with you. These words can also heal old wounds. Maybe there have been arguments where you both felt misunderstood. Maybe there have been nights when silence settled between you like a wall. I hear you as the first step toward dismantling that wall. It is an invitation back to connection. It is an offering of peace, a promise that you will keep trying to understand even when it's hard. If you are wondering how to start, begin with small moments. When she tells you about her day, put aside distractions. When she shares something that sounds trivial to you, remind yourself it's important to her. When she struggles to find the right words, be patient. And when she finishes, instead of immediately offering advice, just say, I hear you. Let her feel that her voice has landed somewhere safe. Over time, she will come to trust those words. She will believe that when you say, I hear you, you mean it. She will believe you are the kind of man who will stand beside her, not above her. She will believe she is loved in a way that goes beyond superficial affection. You may not always get it right. You may still have moments when you interrupt or misunderstand. But if you keep coming back to this simple phrase, I hear you, you will be building a foundation stronger than any sweet nickname. You will be giving her something she can lean on when everything else feels uncertain. There is nothing more intimate than being fully heard, and there is nothing more powerful than the man who has the courage to listen without trying to fix or control. So the next time she opens her heart to you, remember this: her words are not an inconvenience, they are an invitation to step into her world, to stand in her shoes, to love her in a way that makes her feel completely seen. And all it takes to begin is 3 simple words spoken with sincerity. I hear you. F3, you inspire me. There is a quiet magic in telling a woman you inspire me. Most men never say these words because they underestimate their power. They assume that to inspire means to accomplish something grand or visible to the world, that she has to achieve something extraordinary to be worthy of admiration. But inspiration is not always loud or obvious. Sometimes it is woven into the way she shows up in ordinary life. Sometimes it is hidden in the way she loves, forgives, and perseveres when no one is watching. When you look her in the eyes and say you inspire me, you are not only complimenting her. You are honoring the impact she has on your spirit. You are letting her know that her presence in your life is a force that moves you, shapes you, and calls you to be more. Imagine her reaction when she hears these words. Maybe she will smile shyly and look away because she has never thought of herself that way. Maybe her eyes will fill with tears because deep down, she has always wondered if she mattered beyond what she does for everyone else. When you say you inspire me, you answer that unspoken question. You tell her that her existence, just as she is, makes a difference, that she is not invisible, that her life has meaning, and that meaning extends into yours. Most women spend their days giving more than they ever receive. They carry invisible loads. Worries about the people they love, silent struggles with self-doubt, the pressure to always be enough. They lift others up, often forgetting to take credit for the quiet courage it takes to keep going. When you say you inspire me, you shine a light on the strength she doesn't always see in herself. You remind her that she is more than her responsibilities. She is a living example of resilience and grace. There is something deeply intimate about this acknowledgement because it goes beyond physical attraction or affection. It says, I don't just love you, I look up to you. It says, you make me want to be a better man. And that is the kind of truth that roots itself in a woman's heart and stays there long after any flowers have withered or sweet words have faded. Perhaps you've never considered telling her this because you think inspiration should be reserved for heroes and leaders. But inspiration is about impact, not status. It is about the way someone's presence lights a fire inside you to live more fully. Think of the times she has shown kindness when it would have been easier to turn away. Think of the moments when she held her head high, even when life was determined to break her spirit. Think of the countless little ways she has taught you what it means to love without conditions. You might think she already knows you admire her, but admiration that goes unspoken can start to feel like a hollow assumption. Women crave to hear that they have significance, that who they are, not just what they do, makes your world richer. When you tell her you inspire me, you are saying that she is a source of light in a life that can sometimes feel dim. You are admitting that her spirit moves you to rise above your own limitations. These 3 words can change the way she sees herself. In a world that constantly points out her flaws or tells her she is never quite enough, you become the voice that reminds her of her worth. You become the reason she keeps showing up as her best self, even when it's hard. And she will never forget that. She will never forget the man who had the courage to speak admiration when others remained silent. Maybe you are wondering how to say it without sounding rehearsed or exaggerated. The truth is, you don't need fancy language. You don't need to wait for the perfect moment. You just need to say it when your heart feels it. When she does something that stirs you, when her presence fills you with gratitude, when you catch yourself thinking, I am so lucky to know her. It could be in the morning when she gets up early to take care of everyone. It could be late at night when she is sharing her hopes and fears with you. Or it could be in the middle of an ordinary day when she doesn't even realize how much strength she radiates. When you tell her you inspire me, you are also opening yourself to vulnerability. You are admitting that you don't have it all figured out, that you are willing to be moved, to be changed by love. That humility is a gift she will hold close. Because every woman wants to know she is not just loved for how she makes you feel, but for how she makes you grow. It's easy to say baby or honey and hope it covers everything. But those words, while sweet, don't reveal the depth of your respect. They don't tell her that she has left an imprint on your soul. You inspire me is different. It's a confession of gratitude, a tribute to her influence on your life. It tells her she is not replaceable or ordinary. She is rare. She is a force. She is the reason you believe in the possibility of more. Some men hesitate to say this because they fear it gives away too much power. But the truth is, when you let a woman know she inspires you, you are not giving up your strength. You are honoring hers. And in doing that, you become stronger together. You create a relationship built on mutual respect, where neither person has to shrink to protect their pride. Picture her face when she hears these words. Picture the way her shoulders might relax, the way her eyes might soften, the way her spirit might rise just a little bit higher. In that moment, you are giving her something no amount of gifts or praise can match, the certainty that her life has touched yours, that she is seen in all her complexity and beauty, that she has made a difference. You might never fully know the impact these words can have on her. You might never see all the ways they echo through her mind in moments of doubt. But I promise you this, she will carry them with her. She will remember that you were the man who didn't just see her as a partner, but as a teacher, a guide, a source of strength. So the next time you feel moved by something she does, no matter how small, don't let the moment pass unspoken. Look her in the eyes, take a breath, and say the words that can lift her higher than any nickname ever could. You inspire me. Because in the end, love is not only about being there for each other. It is about honoring the ways we transform each other into braver, softer, fuller versions of ourselves. And it all begins with the courage to speak the truth she deserves to hear. When you choose to speak words like I appreciate you, I hear you, and you inspire me, you are doing so much more than replacing empty nicknames. You are giving her the deepest kind of love, a love that sees her, values her, and honors her heart. These words don't just win her affection, they win her trust, her respect, and the quiet devotion that only grows stronger with time. So let this be your reminder. The most powerful things you can ever say to a woman are the truths you feel, but too often leave unspoken. Say them and watch her spirit rise.